Hi guys, welcome back to another ACE in Education video. Today we are going to be talking about circles. Okay, I got our board here. So let's begin. Now, what is this strong slide? What is a circle? So you probably know what a circle is. A circle is a geometric shape where all the points are equally spaced and it's fully curved. That's more of a mathy definition of circle. So this is a circle, as you know. It's not the most perfect circle, but I'll recommend you a program actually. I recommend this thing called GeoGebra. I really like it. Parts of a circle. See, so there are a lot of activities you can use here. Oops. See, there's a lot of activities you can use. Yeah. None of them are too sort of like related to parts of the circle, but somewhere along the way you will find them. So back to work. Now let's learn about the parts of a circle. So first draw a circle. Yeah. That's the best. No, that's not the best I can do. Yeah, good enough. So actually not good enough, but for our purposes, it's good. So the center of the circle, like the midpoint, the perfect center of the circle. And then we have the circumference. The circumference is kind of like the perimeter, except, and there's no except, it's just the perimeter term used for a circle. So basically the distance around the circle. And next we have the radius, which is from a center, a line from the center to any point along the circle. Okay, and then we have the diameter, which is just kind of chops the circle in half through the center. It's a line going through the center that connects to two ends of the circle. And then we have a chord. Now, a diameter is also a chord. When we usually say chord, we usually mean any 2 points on the circle, not necessarily going through the center. So for example, that would be chord. Next, we have a sector, which is just a part when you kind of do that. So that's about what, 1/6, 1/5 to 1/7 of the circle. All right. And then we have our tangent, which is a term you don't really need to know, like probably until high school or middle school, I guess. But it's not a good description, but it's kind of like a line that passes through the outside of the circle that touches like the circumference once or something like that. You won't really need to know that until you turn up into high school. Okay, and then we have our arc, which is just like the curved kind of a part of the curved part of the circle. So that's, for example, an arc. Now we could also say that an arc, like if we're not talking about circles, then an arc would look something like this. It's an arc, a curved section. Okay, and then to that. And then what we have next? Well, the segment. A segment, it's not really like you'd think. A segment is actually like, so take a chord, for example, and then sort of, I might have to zoom in a lot for this. And then completely shade it in. So basically like a part, not really a sector, but a part that's not necessarily like 1 over something of the circle. It can be like something like this. So that's kind of like a segment. And then, do we have any more? No, I don't think we have any more. So that is it for this video. And I will see you next time where we learn more about circles. Oh, and one more important thing. A circle around is 360 degrees. All right, so this is kind of an interesting conversation about why did we choose 360? You know, like it's kind of an odd number. Like something? Why not something like 100? 100's pretty convenient to work with. Well, actually, not true. Well, when we say it's 360 degrees around, we mean that its circumference is not 360 degrees. This angle is 360 degrees. Okay? Now why do we have 360? It's an interesting conversation like I told you. Well, it leads back to the ancient Babylonians, the Mesopotamian civilization, and they apparently thought that 360 was the best number. Well, for one reason, it's divisible by lots of different numbers. So, like for example, we can find the prime factorization of this number pretty easily. Just gonna quickly do the factor tree. And there will be a whole video on prime factorization later on. So it's divisible by lots of different numbers. Let's see, we have 2 cubed times 3 squared times 5. And that actually is divisible by 24 numbers. We'll think about why that works later, but for now, 24 numbers is a lot. So that's kind of why we use 360. Like, we could also have used 720. Like, 720 has, like, much more. Like, it's basically just 2 times, basically 2 to the 4th times 3 squared times 5. And that makes, like, what? 12 more numbers that it's divisible by. So, yeah, pretty cool. And that's kind of why we use 360. We could have used 720, like I said. 60 just seems like just the right number. All right, that is it for this video, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.